organizing today's program, and I very much like to.
China's industrial policy may seem remote as we sit here in this room, but if we do not respond strategically and in a united way, the viability of businesses in both our countries and around the world could be at risk. The US and Europe, along with many others, are concerned by China's actions, from its pursuit of economic coercion to macroeconomic imbalances that are leading to industrial overcapacity. And industrial overcapacity not only poses a threat to firms in the US and Europe, it could also prevent countries around the world, including emerging markets, from building the industries that could power their growth. Last week, the United States announced strategic and targeted steps as a result of a Section 301 review. And the EU and other countries are using their authorities to investigate and consider remedies to China's actions as well. But the IRA is not a turn toward American protectionism. We're not creating jobs just at home. US-EU trade in green energy products exceeded $2 billion in 2022, and European countries can be leaders in this area. We need to continue cracking down on Russian sanctions evasion, including through third parties, and sensitive goods that originate in the US and Europe. It's also critical that we ensure Ukraine has the support it needs to equip its military, fund critical services, and ultimately rebuild in the medium to long term. That's why I believe it's vital and urgent that we collectively find a way forward to unlock the value of Russian sovereign assets immobilized in our jurisdictions for the benefit of Ukraine, and this will be a key topic of conversation during G7 meetings this week.
So as you have seen, there have been some experts, some groups, the National Retail Federation among them, who've expressed concerns that it will be U.S. consumers who eventually end up paying for these tariffs. As you know, polling shows that rising prices are voters' biggest concern right now. So I'd ask you to speak directly to them. Will American consumers bear the cost of these tariffs?
I don't believe that American consumers will see any meaningful increase in the prices that they face. President Biden announced tariffs on roughly $18 billion of imports from China. They're very carefully targeted at sectors that we're supporting through legislation that President Biden passed with Congress, the clean energy sector, semiconductors, sectors where we consider it critical to create good jobs. We're seeing massive investment in manufacturing in these areas, and we think it's very important to protect our workers and our firms in these strategic sectors from the kind of dumping that results when China develops massive overcapacity in these areas. And we're not alone. Japan and Europe, Mexico, India, Brazil, South Africa, other countries are all concerned. These are areas where the investments that we're making will ultimately result in lower prices.
Not see any meaningful price increase. Does that mean that people should brace for potentially some price increase?
I don't think that anything will occur here that would be noticeable to the typical American family. Mainly, these tariff increases serve to protect firms and workers that are being supported by the incentives, the tax incentives, and other incentives in the Semiconductor and Chips Act and Inflation Reduction Act. These are sectors where American firms are gearing up production, are very able to compete but they face an unlevel
era tariffs on China, and you said tariffs are taxes on consumers. In some cases, it seems to me what we did hurt American consumers. So what changed between then and now?
Well, what we're talking about here are a targeted group of strategic sectors where we've developed a real overdependence on China. We have vulnerabilities in our supply chains. We've made it a national priority to diversify our supply chains so that we don't experience the same kinds of shortages that